Okay, hi everyone. We are super excited this morning to be, or this evening, or this afternoon, wherever you are, to be cooking with Damyanti. And we're cooking out of her cookbook. If you don't have it, Conscious Cuisine, I have it. So I have it open to page 94 to our recipe. And we are making a rice dish, and you're going to have to pronounce it for me.
Called Akhni.
Acne. Okay. And then we're making a spiced yogurt to go over that as well.
Lassi. Yes, we
Sounds so good. I love spiced yogurt. So I'm super excited to make this rice dish. Why don't you help us get started? I am ready. I think I was supposed to prep a couple things in advance and I did not. So I may be a little slow during the process of chopping ginger and garlic, but go ahead and kick us off.
Sure. I think what I would like to go through is the ingredients we're using today. Okay. So we're going to be needing rice because it's a savory rice dish. Akhni is a simplified version of your biryani. Biryani is has a little more steps to it and a little more complicated. So we have rice. I've pre-cooked my rice. Shannon, I'm not sure if you did.
I did not. So if people didn't pre-cook it, should we start that at the very right now?
Yes, while I'm talking through the ingredients, if you can put some water on to boil, and get your rice going. You can use basmati rice or you can use jasmine rice. I think it's personal preference. Our family likes a very soft rice. I tend to use the jasmine type of rice. And then once we've cooked the rice, we're going to drain it. And then the first step that we need to do is heat up some oil in our pan. And in the recipe, I give a combination of ghee and oil, but I think one can use whichever oil or fat one prefers. So today I've opted to use coconut oil to braise my onions and whole spices. So the whole spices we're using today are cinnamon, clove, and cardamom. Now, when using cardamom, I think it's a good idea to just give it a bit of a stamp. And that's why I have the pestle and mortar here. Because often when you put cardamom into a hot pot, the shell seems to bust open and you may burn. So I think it's a good idea just to crack the shell of the cardamom a little. So we're going to put some coconut oil in our pan. Then we're going to add the whole spices. And then we're going to add the chopped onion. So we have chopped onion that we're going to use. We have a potato that we're going to peel and cube. And we're doing a grated carrot and some frozen peas. The other spices that we need are garlic, ginger, and chili. And I think if your family doesn't particularly like that type of spicy food, especially with families who have small children, they can omit the chili. Garlic is not as hot, and you can add less garlic and ginger in your rice dish. So I think, and then when using the cinnamon, the clove, and the cardamom, they are wonderful aromatic spices, and they're high in antioxidants. So you're actually getting quite a bit of benefit by including them in this dish. And so can I go ahead and start cleaning my veggies?
And I wanted to ask you a question about the rice. Do you rinse your rice before you cook it?
I do rinse my rice.
Okay. I did a quick rinse.
Yeah. Yes.
Just because lack of time to really rinse, but I'm never sure because some recipes actually tell you to rinse your rice and some don't, but as a default, I usually rinse. So I just
I think what can happen is that if you use hot water to rinse your raw rice, it may break the grains. And that is why use very lukewarm water and not crush the rice when washing it. You can swirl it and then pour off the water.
Okay.
And the guideline usually is when washing the rice is the water should be clear when you've washed it.
Okay.
Okay. So,
all right. We're ready to start prepping our veggies.
Okay, sure. So I'm going to peel my onion.
Okay. And I realized, I don't know if you specified what color onion. I was going to use a yellow, but I realized that I'm out of yellow onion. So I am using a white onion.
Okay. I'm using the yellow onion.
Okay. And does it really matter? I mean, I don't think I would use a red for this, but do you find that there's much of a difference in this recipe between the white and the yellow?
If I understand correctly, what the white onion is a salady onion?
Okay.
Or not? I'm not sure.
It's a what? Sorry, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Is it used basically for salads?
No, I mean, I think I use white onion for a lot of things. I use it for salsas. I do tend to use it more raw than a yellow onion. I mean, I cook with yellow onions more, but I definitely cook with white onions too.
Okay, sure. I'm not so sure that it would make such a huge difference to the taste because with Akhni, that little sweetness you get from the onion, the peas, and the carrots is actually quite nice. It adds to the flavor, I think. So I'm just going to rinse my onion. And now we're going to chop the onion. And I like chopping it into cubes, fine cubes, not chunky cubes.
And you are using the whole onion, correct?
Yes, correct. Hope nobody's crying while cutting the onion.
Nope.
Good.
Yeah, I think sometimes they, it really makes me cry, and then other times not so much.
Yeah, this one I'm using today is actually quite strong. How are you doing? Yeah, you're still busy cutting?
Still cutting. Sorry, I got a little bit behind.
No problem.
Hey, Erin, I don't know if there are any questions. I wasn't able to, got a lot going on. I wasn't able to pull up any questions.
Yeah, we don't have any questions at the moment.
Okay.
So if you guys have questions, please let us know.
Okay, onion chopped. And did you say to rinse the onion?
No, it's fine. Now that you've chopped it, it's better to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a reason that you would have rinsed it in the beginning?
I usually first rinse it and then chop it.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
I think that when you rinse it after you've chopped it, wouldn't you be taking off all the flavor from the onion? That would be my understanding.
But I don't rinse my onion at all. So sometimes
fine.
I soak it. If I'm going to do a salsa, I'll soak a chopped onion. But but I don't ever rinse them. So, and now I am crying.
I think if you're using it for a salsa, you're eating it raw, like you said. So then you would need to soak it a little. Then it doesn't, it's not as pungent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next we will be peeling our potato.
Okay.
And I think the most appropriate would be your russet.
Okay, and that's what I'm peeling. My extra large russet.
Yes, I see that. Do they make a good baked potato, the russets?
Do they make good what?
Baked potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
They're so good.
We get a potato that's called Mondale. I don't know if you get Mondale in the
Nope,
US?
I haven't heard of
Okay.
it. It doesn't mean that
Okay.
maybe it's under a different name. What is it like?
It's also a slightly yellow in color, and it cooks quite soft. Yeah. I think the potato varieties we get are quite different to the ones that you have available.
It is amazing how many varieties of everything that's out there. And we just think, oh, a potato is a potato. And
I know.
that's not so much.
Yeah. How's your rice doing, Shannon?
It's going. I just simmered it. Now I'm simmering. So it'll probably take about 20 minutes.
Hi guys. Keith Buccini is asking, do the potatoes need to be peeled?
If you have access to organic potatoes, then you don't need to peel them. But if you're not sure, then peel them. It's just a question of taste, I think.
Well, and I think it might also depend on how soft the skin is and what size of potato, right? So like here we get these little like Yukon Gold or new potatoes and the skin's really, really soft, but a big russet, I tend to like to peel the russets because I think the skin is a little tough.
Okay. Yeah, the potato I'm using has a very thin skin.
So you could have used that skin. You didn't have to peel it.
I could have, but because I had bought it at the supermarket and not at the normal farm stall I get my veggies at, because they didn't have potatoes, I peeled it today. Yeah.
Okay. Potato is ready.
Okay. I think we can switch on our saucepan.
Okay.
Because we're going to braise the onion with the whole spices. We'll grate the carrot while the onion is cooking.
Okay.
Because the carrot being grated will cook very quickly. So I've got my pan on now.
And then did you put the oil in already?
You know, I have a heavy bottom saucepan. So
Okay.
I tend to warm up the saucepan a little before adding the oil or fat.
Okay.
So it depends on your saucepan. If you want to start adding it, it's fine. But I usually just wait a little bit. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to crush the cardamom pods that I have with a pestle and mortar. And the only reason for that is to split the skin.
So Ken Jordan is asking, for those of us that don't eat potatoes, I find that turnips are a great alternative. Do you think that'll work in this recipe?
Oh, sure. Turnips, sweet potato, both would work. Definitely.
Okay, so we crushed the sorry, I'm a little behind here. So crush the cardamom pods. And you just did it. Can you show me again how you crushed those?
Shannon, I just split them just so that so that it doesn't have to be you're not aiming to crush the seeds.
Okay, so just kind of like I just split did like that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
I think my pan will be warm now. So now we're adding our coconut oil.
I love coconut oil. I recently discovered it. I just never used it. And something I was cooking called for it. And I realized I could use it for a lot of things.
Oh, yeah, you can substitute it quite easily. And it's got a high boiling point, which is really nice. So you won't burn things very easily. I'm now going to add the cinnamon stick into the coconut oil.
Okay. And are you just using one cinnamon stick?
Shannon, yours are quite big. You can break them in half.
Okay.
And add 2. That'll be sufficient.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. Your pestle, your pestle may help.
Oh,
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yep, good idea. That's a heavy cinnamon stick.
And followed by some clove.
Okay.
Got the clove going in.
And you don't smash them first, you just put them in? Okay.
No, cloves are quite hot to the taste, so leave them whole rather.
Okay.
In fact, if you have a toothache, it's excellent to chew on a clove. It actually almost deadens the pain. It's so hot. Yeah. So in our pan, we've got the clove, the cardamom, and the cinnamon stick now. So I can see it sizzling a little. I'm going to add the onion now.
Oh, it already smells so good.
Yeah, those whole spices are amazing. I'm sure you could do the same thing with just plain rice even, and it would flavor it beautifully.
Oh, yeah. And now with the onions, it smells even better in here.
So I'm going to just close it for a sec.
Okay.
Because I want the onion to be a little translucent before adding the potato.
My lid is caught. Okay, all of my lids are caught.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry, everyone. You're hearing all this loud noise.
There we go.
Okay.
And now we can cube our potato while we're waiting for the onion.
And how big of a cube do you cut?
I'm gonna for my size potato, I'm probably gonna get 8 pieces out of here.
Oh, okay.
Yours would be more, Shannon. Your potato is quite big.
Okay, I don't have to use all of the potato. Should I use a little bit less of it?
Yes, I think that would work.
Okay, I'm gonna use about that much.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sure. I would say about 2 centimeters by 3 centimeters, the potato.
Okay. Well,
question from Chris Widner in Lafayette, Indiana. Widener. Would sweet onions be too sweet?
You mean the red onion?
I don't know. He just said sweet onions.
Well, if I could just get some clarification on what which kind of
We have onions in the U.S. called Vidalia, which are pretty sweet. They're not very pungent. I'm wondering if that's kind of what he's talked about. But red onions might be also considered sweet, I think.
As I said, it would work in this dish because it's not a very spicy dish. It's quite a subtle flavor in this dish, and we're already adding carrots, which are sweet, peas, which are sweet. The pungency will come from your garlic or your ginger, or maybe the chili that you're using. So I don't think it would be too much of an issue if you use the sweet onion. I'm now going to add the potato to the onion.
and I'm just stirring it every once in a while. Is that what I see you doing?
That's perfect.
Keith Buccini in Mission wants to know, could you parboil the potato?
I wouldn't, because what would happen if you parboiled it is it would overcook once you've added the rice and the other vegetables to it. So I would much rather not cook the potato ahead. Because what happens is when you cook the potato in the onion and the cinnamon and the cardamom and the clove, you're infusing all those lovely aromatic flavors into the dish. So when your potato is cooked, it's not going to be as absorbent as a raw potato cooking through that onion and through those spices. So while the potato is cooking, sorry, I don't have any view of the participants.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear was that something to me? My onions were sizzling. They were really loud.
I added the potato to the onion.
Yep.
And just gave it a bit of a stir.
Okay.
And now while that is cooking, it needs to be on a low heat so it doesn't catch.
Okay.
I'm going to grate my carrot. And I'm using the large grater side of my grater.
Okay. Now I'm going to peel my carrot first.
Sure.
My carrot doesn't look really pretty, so.
Okay. Mine is an organic carrot, so for a change, I'm not going to grate it. I mean, I'm not going to peel it. I am going to grate it. What did I say? Sorry.
I even though you said it wrong, I heard it right.
I also think, sorry.
Did you use the larger holes of the grater?
Correct, the larger holes. And I think it's such a nice way to get children to eat vegetables when you do something like this, because children are usually lazy to eat vegetables. So by incorporating it like this into a rice dish, you're able to get veggies. And you know, there's no harm in using other vegetables. I mean, you could cube up some zucchini, you could put some peppers in here. I think you could add whichever veg you wanted to.
Would you recommend keeping it though to this kind of the same proportions that you have here and just swap out some veggies, or you think just adding as many veggies as you want?
I think adding as many veggies as you want would make just as nice a dish. It wouldn't really matter if there's more veg than rice. It shouldn't matter. Yeah. But just be careful when using different vegetables. You want the vegetables that take longer to cook. You would put those in first into your pan like we did now. We added our potato first.
Okay.
And then added as you can see, we're going to add the carrot in last, because the carrot will not need much cooking. It's grated.
I always find that carrots cook faster than I think every single time. Even though they're hard, they still always cook really fast.
Yes, they do. They do. So are there any questions at this stage?
Okay, we'll tell you again, it smells so good in my kitchen.
Yes, it is wonderful. The smell of the cinnamon and the cardamom and the onion. It's amazing what just a few aromatic spices can do.
Yeah. And I love the spices like cinnamon when we cook with them. So many people think they're just for sweet dishes, but they really, it's really not. I mean, they're just so delicious, savory.
Exactly, exactly. And especially cardamom, it has such a unusual flavor actually, because if you bite into a cardamom seed, it can be quite pungent, yet it has a subtleness of flavor in it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. When they're whole in a dish, are you expecting to eat them whole, or do you kind of push them off to the side if they end up on your plate?
I actually love eating the seed, not the skin.
Okay.
And but I have a fussy daughter who actually pushes the seeds and the skin on the rim of the plate while eating, which annoys me no end. But I think we all have those.
Right.
How are your potatoes doing?
They're actually starting to look nice. I can tell they're starting to soften. I may have cut them a little bit too large. but they're cooking. So
Oh, good. Because as soon as they're slightly cooked,
yeah.
we're going to add the frozen peas in there. I'm going to wait another minute or so.
Okay. Yeah, mine are,
And-
I can, another minute would be good for mine as well.
And your rice?
Let me check on my rice. Not quite there yet.
Okay, no problem, because we're going to add the rice last.
Okay,
So
great.
it's not a gate crash.
Okay.
So as I was saying, I think we're using potato, peas, and carrots today. But there would be no harm in adding zucchini or some peppers. And you can substitute the potato for sweet potato or parsnips. All
that
of them
sounds
will
good.
work. All of them will
I think
work, yes.
a red bell pepper would look really pretty in it.
Completely. It would really lift the color as well, because you've got the green, the orange. It would look really good.
Yeah.
So I think I'm ready to add my peas if you're ready.
I'm ready. I think my potatoes are starting to look a little soft.
Cool. And so we're adding our peas.
Okay. Okay, peas are in. Now the carrots, you say, go in at the same time?
I think we can.
Okay.
So we're adding the grated carrots. And you can see already the colors are looking so good in here.
They look so pretty. I actually just got my phone out to take a picture.
So at this point, we're going to add our salt. And I don't usually give a measure for salt, because I think different people have different tastes when it comes to salt. And we tend to use very little salt in our household. So I'd rather add less, taste it, and add more later on. And now I'm adding my turmeric.
Well, and different salts have, are some are saltier than others,
Exactly.
And different weight. I mean, you're right. It's just so hard to measure salt.
So much rather have less. You can always add salt, but I would rather have less than more. I think this, okay. So we've got our turmeric, and turmeric has such amazing health properties. It's antibiotic, antiviral. It's got really also high antioxidant value. So great to use.
Sorry.
No problem.
I try to add it to anything that I think would work with it.
Yes.
Because of that. And
yeah.
Like if I'm scrambling some eggs, I put it in there, or if I do just roast potatoes in the morning for breakfast, I'll put it in there, and it adds a nice flavor. But what's nice is it doesn't seem to overpower things. It just adds a little bit, and you know that it's so good for you. So
yeah, and I find
jar of it.
I find people are also using it in their smoothies now, which is a wonderful way to get it in. Yeah,
I never thought about that.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that.
Smoothies are So we added our salt. We added our turmeric, and now I'm adding a green paste, which consists of my garlic, ginger, and chili. If you have them separately, so absolutely fine. So you'd add a bit of chili. Again, personal preference of how hot or mild you need it to be. Some garlic and ginger. The garlic and ginger, you can be I think in this quantity, half a teaspoon would be great. It would be fine.
Okay. So
I'm adding a little more coconut oil in my pan because it almost looks too little.
Of the coconut oil?
Mine looked a bit little, so I'm adding a little more.
Okay.
And after stirring it all in, we're going to again close the lid. Oh, I think I just need to replenish. No, Niral, I've got it here. I just need to replenish my gas, which is not a problem. These stoves are amazing, but you only get a very small canister of gas.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
It's wonderful because it's such a nice countertop.
Yeah, so I have a burner like that, but you have to plug it in. So that's nice because you can just put it anywhere.
And what I like about this particular gas stove is that it doesn't emit any heat onto your working surface. So you don't have to protect your working surface.
Oh, that's nice.
That's wonderful. Yes. Okay. So that's doing its thing.
Okay, my rice is looking good. It's not quite done, but it's starting to get close.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So we've added our garlic, ginger, chili, our salt, our turmeric. So we've got most things in, all the flavorings into our rice now.
Okay.
And I'm just going to wait for the potato to soften a little before adding the rice.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, my potato needs a little bit longer.
It will.
Okay.
Just make sure that it doesn't catch at the bottom of the saucepan.
Okay.
If for any reason you are rushed and you can't spend this time steaming it on a low heat, you could add a little bit of water, about a tablespoon or two of water if you're rushing.
Okay.
So that would also assist in the cooking process. So we'll wait a little. But any more questions?
No questions at the moment.
Okay. I I started off adding a little coconut oil. And once the veggies started cooking, I almost felt that I had added too little. So that is why I opted to add a little more to my pan. You know, being a wide pan, the fat spreads very quickly. So that is why I didn't want the vegetables to catch in the pot.
Mine were a little bit. So I'm going to take your tip and add just a little bit more as well.
Sure.
So just as I said, there wasn't a question. A question came in.
Sure.
Rupert McRae is asking, I think he's trying to say, would this be an ideal lunch or supper?
Okay, that's a good question. I have an Ayurvedic background, which is the natural health science. And your main meal should be consumed at midday, sort of between 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. So this would be a lunch dish for me. And the reason for that is that your body produces most of the gastric acids at that time of the day, your body clock. So it's the optimal time to digest your food. So if that is what you are aiming for, it would be a lunch dish. For a lot of people, it's not always practical to do that because of job constraints or activities they have. Then a supper dish, if they partaking their main meal in the evening, they could do that. But it's a lovely main course because it's already got all the veggies in it. It's got the rice, so it's got the carbohydrate. You could add some form of protein to the dish, and that would be a complete meal for you.
And how does it reheat? Does it reheat okay?
It's actually so delicious once it stands, even the next day, because it obviously all the veggies infuse into the rice. So it's actually lovely the next day. So great for leftovers.
And then you can make it at night and eat it for lunch the next day.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
What sort of protein would go well with this?
What type of protein?
Yeah, what sort of protein would we like?
Some form of bean would work if you're a vegetarian. If you're a non-vegetarian, I suppose chicken. Yeah.
Great.
Mine is slightly catching because of the new gas that I put in. I'm going to add a little water in mine because it's catching where the pot has gone quite hot.
Okay. I think mine is doing okay with my little bit of oil that I put in it.
Yeah, so that helped a lot. Eh?
Yeah. I think I had my pot, I think I had it a little too low. So I'm turning it up just a bit.
Yes, but I think just watch it, Shannon, because that's what happened to me.
Oh, okay. I might add a little bit of water too to help speed up the
Speed up things a little.
potatoes. Yeah.
Is Guy watching the show? Guy Cochran.
Yes,
Yes.
Guy Cochran is Guy Cochran is watching the show.
Oh, did the books arrive, Guy? I was just wondering. I don't hear anything. Oh, I think I have a whisper that the books may only come on Monday.
Guy says that he hopes that the books will arrive on Monday. So
Cool, great. Shannon, I'm ready almost to add my rice.
Okay. I think my rice is good enough to
I'll wait.
add.
Is it cooked properly?
It's you know what? I'm going to do a little taste test here, but it's
Sure.
looking pretty cooked.
Sure.
Yeah, it's cooked.
Okay.
It's
So
a little stickier maybe than I would
it's
think that
absolutely
you would want
fine.
it. Okay.
It's fine.
Then it's
fine.
cooked.
Yes. So we're now going to add our rice to our cooked vegetables.
And it's 1 cup.
1 cup of cooked rice, yes. After we've incorporated the rice into the vegetables, we will then steam it all together.
Yeah, the colors are so bright with the carrot and the turmeric. It's really quite
And the
pretty.
green looks so good with the peas.
It does.
Hi, Naren. I believe you're watching from Brisbane.
Okay.
And
Okay, perfect.
hi, Hansa from Seattle. So glad you could join us. Have you, you at the same stage as I am, Shannon?
Yeah, so I think I don't want to overmix it, so I'm going to
No.
stop, but I think I've
Okay.
incorporated everything.
Okay. Now, in the recipe, I usually add a little bit of water just to steam it through. But
Okay.
since my sons do the cooking, my one son said to me, have you ever tried coconut milk in this dish? It's very nice because that's what I
Ooh.
do. So Mom has learned from the son now. And I've started adding coconut milk to my steaming process.
Oh,
So
I
if you-
forgot my coconut milk, so I'm going to run to the pantry and get my coconut milk.
Sure, sure.
I love coconut milk.
It gives such a nice creamy flavor to things.
Okay, Ken Jordan is asking, Why is my video off? Ken Jordan is asking for another gluten-free alternative. I substitute cauliflower for rice. What do you think?
Perfect. Cauliflower rice is great. It'll work. It'll work. You know, you could even use something like barley. Barley would work. Quinoa would work. Millet would work. I like mixing quinoa with millet, and you can have a lovely mixture. You could use the same method, but you would cook your quinoa, you'll cook your veggies, and then mix it all together and steam it up with a bit of coconut milk. It will be delicious.
And Carl Asmussen is asking, what would be a good substitute if you made this dish for someone with a cinnamon allergy?
You omit the cinnamon. It's not critical. You omit the cinnamon. It's fine. So you've got, Shannon, you got your coconut milk open?
I do. I put it in. Oh,
okay.
shoot. Okay, good.
No. I was just waiting for you. I think about 2 tablespoons would be perfect.
Okay. And you're right. I turned my pan up a little bit, and I shouldn't have. Because
yes,
it's sticking just a little bit. So
it happens so quickly.
It was it's a fine line there. So
yes. So now all you do is wait for it to steam up a little. I would give it a few minutes, like 3-4 minutes. So you close the lid and just on a low heat, Shannon, low heat.
Slow. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
So while the Akhni is steaming, I thought I would do a savory yogurt accompaniment because that would go very well. And I think the Northern Hemisphere having summer, this savory drink is lovely just as a drink even. You could thin it down a little more than we're doing, and it would still be lovely as a savory drink. So for that, we need, I'm just going to bring my ingredients. We need some natural yogurt.
Okay, where is my yogurt? Okay. And by natural, you just mean there's no flavor. It's just the plain yogurt.
Yes, it's in South Africa, we get the full cream. You do get low fat as well. So it's the full cream natural yogurt.
Okay, great.
So we're using yogurt, we're using water, we're using salt, and we're using a little bit of ginger, some fresh coriander. And I just wanted to talk about the cumin seeds that I prepare because I tend to use it quite a bit in salads and in this kind of dish. It's really, really nice.
Okay.
So what you do is you take whole cumin seeds, you dry roast them in a pan.
And did you already dry roast yours?
I keep this sort of ground cumin ready for dishes. So I don't mind waiting if you want to do it. It doesn't take long. It actually roasts very quickly.
Oh, I actually have some roasted that I had, and I have some ground and roasted. So are you using whole or ground?
So Shannon, take your roasted ones and in your pestle and mortar, just crush it.
Okay.
And that will give you a really good flavor.
And can you remind me how much we're using?
I think half a teaspoon.
Okay. Okay.
For people who are vegan, I think the coconut yogurt would also work.
Okay, so lightly crushed. Ooh, they smell so good.
It makes such a difference if you roast your cumin seed and then crush it. It just, the aromatic flavor just completely alters it compared to if you had to just crush it as is. So
Okay.
now you've got your cumin crushed.
Yep, I have my, it's not pulverized, but it's crushed.
No problem. That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. It's nice to have a bit of texture.
Okay.
I'm measuring out my yogurt.
Okay.
So it's a cup of yogurt.
Cup of yogurt. Okay.
And an equal amount of water.
Okay, here's my yogurt.
And then a half a teaspoon of crushed cumin seed.
Okay.
And salt to taste.
Okay.
So Shannon, you've got yogurt, you've got water,
Yep.
you've got cumin and
Yep.
some salt.
Yep.
And now we're going to chop some fresh coriander to put in there.
Okay. And how finely do you chop it?
I'm going to be using a hand blender, so I don't actually have to chop it very finely
great.
because the blender will do it.
Okay.
So we're adding that to our jug.
Okay.
And then a little bit of grated ginger, very little,
Okay.
just like a sliver.
There's my grated ginger.
You could sometimes vary it by adding a little garlic instead of ginger, and that would give you a totally different flavor.
Okay, I just added just a little bit.
Yes, and now I'm going to blend it.
Okay, get my hand blender. So is the goal to get the coriander really pulverized?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm going to switch blenders because my hand blender is so old. I'm going to retire this thing because it's just not chopping anymore. So I'm going to go for the real blender. Excuse me.
And now everybody uses the NutriBullet. Okay. Hi, John. John Edelson, I believe you're here too.
I'm
I
gonna
want to
mute
just
for a second. This is really noisy, so I'm going to mute while I'm doing this.
Sure, sure. I think we need to have a big thank you to Karlak and Carl, and of course, Carl from Adelaide, and Hasmukh, and my daughter Nirali. I think it's only when you do something like this, you realize that it's quite a big team of people who get things going for you. So thank you so much.
So
And
mine is really runny.
oh, so I think maybe it's the type of the yogurt. I mean, mine was a bit thicker than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, mine's super runny. So I think I might start over. And my yogurt is not as thick as it usually is. I'm not going to add the water.
Sure, then make it plain. Yeah, cool. That'll work.
This will probably taste good, but I don't think
Yeah,
it's going to
you could
work
use
for
it
the
as
recipe.
you could use it as a lovely drink.
Yeah.
So I just want to taste that the salt and the cumin, I'm able to taste them. I'm just going to taste my savory yogurt. I need some salt. But other than that, it's quite good. Mine is actually thicker than I expected it to be. So I'm adding a little water to mine. So you can see the consistency is nice and thick.
Yeah, okay.
Like a pouring yogurt.
I think mine without the water is going to be that consistent.
Okay. That's what you need.
Good thing this one was simple. Not a whole lot of ingredients to need to redo.
No. But it's amazing how that little bit of cumin and coriander will flavor that yogurt.
Mute again because my Vitamix is.
Are there any questions at this point?
I'm afraid not. I would hope that other people would be interested in asking questions because I think that there are lots of interesting things to talk about here. Is it so in Iran? I know there's a drink that's similar to lassi called doogh, which is a yogurt-based drink. Have you ever heard of it?
No. What does it taste like?
It's got sumac and salt and pepper, and I think, well, I mean, you can get different kinds, but it's very savory. I like it a lot. I think to a lot of Western mouths, it's kind of weird, but I really love it.
Yeah, I suppose for a Western person, you associate a yogurt with sweet.
Yeah, I think generally it's, yeah. I think we associate a lot of drinks with sweet, as a matter of fact. Like, I think.
Yeah. So this lassi you could make as a sweet drink as well. Then you would add a sweetener. You would add some rose syrup to it, and it makes a very refreshing summer drink too.
Yeah, my son loves mango lassi.
Yes, mango lassi is delicious.
Yes,
absolutely.
Keith Buccini says, "How long are you steaming the dish?"
About 5 minutes.
Very good.
Okay. So I'm ready
back.
to. Have you tasted your lassi?
It's really good. Yeah, it's delicious.
Cool. Okay. So I'm going to plate up just to show everyone what my Akhni looks like. So are we going to compare notes, Shannon?
Yes. I mean, I get my bowl out.
And then I think it's quite a nice touch to add some toasted almonds to this dish.
And I forgot my almonds. I was going to add any other nuts would work, do you think?
Yes. What have you got?
I have pecans.
Yes, that's fine. It's just a touch to I think rice and nuts go well. And you're adding some protein like we were saying earlier.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle my nuts.
Yes, make it pretty.
It has to be pretty.
It has to be pretty. So there we go. Our Akhni and our savory yogurt dish.
Okay, it looks delicious.
Let's see
Now-
yours. Okay, cool. Lovely. Lovely.
And then do you add a little bit of the yogurt on it?
So when you're going to eat, you would add a bit of yogurt and then, yes.
Okay.
And
I'm
I
gonna
can
try
see
it.
yours. Yes, sure. Of course you have to.
Okay.
So you can give me feedback.
And you would just pour the yogurt on it, just drizzle it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My yogurt's
Correct.
probably still a little thinner than it needed to be. I mean, I would have,
It looks good, Shannon. Looks good.
okay. Okay, good. Okay, the taste test. It's really delicious. I would
Yeah,
eat this.
I think it's not a lot of effort to have such a nice savory dish.
There's a lot going on. More than I expected. You really can taste the peas and the carrots. It's interesting that I can really taste each thing.
It's not a mush.
It's not a mush. It's really not a mush. And for as long as it cooked in there, it infused all the flavors together. And I can
Yes.
still taste everything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's if you had parboiled any of the vegetables, they wouldn't have incorporated all those subtle flavors. So it's worth doing it in that step-by-step form because you achieve really great results.
I do think that adding the nuts is important because I got that little bit of a crunch. And you're right. I don't think it mattered that it was pecans. Pecans are a little bit, I like almonds better. I had these in the cupboard for something else, but that texture really kind of rounded out everything in the dish, I think. So I wouldn't skimp on a nut.
Yeah. What you could do in the savory yogurt dish we did, you could grate some cucumber.
Yeah.
A little piece of cucumber, and it would be like a raita, what they call a raita, but it would also give you a lovely texture.
Well,
So we have one more question
great.
from Mark Horner. Does Damyanti have a vegetable garden?
Yes, I try to. I try to.
Winter now, right?
So I've got carrots growing for the first time. I tried before and I got weird and wonderful shapes, but this year I got beautiful carrots. And I have lots of herbs because I love cooking with herbs. So oregano, thyme, rosemary, shallots, and a field of sweet potatoes, the red ones.
Oh.
And we have a lime tree. We have a lemon tree. So my daughter, and then we've got avocados trees, but they haven't borne fruit. So this is from my garden.
Wow.
So I'm quite fortunate. We have
beautiful.
very good fertile soil and lots of limes and lemons. So I never have to buy those.
Well, we'll have to make something with the sweet potatoes next.
Definitely. You know, these sweet potatoes are the ones that are purple inside as well. So they're toffee-like almost. I actually don't like adulterating the taste of the sweet potato. I just slice them up with a bit of cinnamon, put them in a pan with a bit of butter or coconut oil, and plain, absolutely plain, or baked. They're just delicious because they have their own flavor.
Yeah,
I agree. No need to add anything.
Like sugar and all the sweet and everything just overloads the sweet potato, I think.
It doesn't actually need it. You know what's quite nice, which is it would sound strange, but when I do that, sometimes I slice them up, I put them in a pan, and when they're almost cooked, I actually splash a little bit of soya sauce on it. And it's amazing how the sweet and the salt does amazing things to the sweet potato.
I love sweet and salt. I think that sounds that's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay. So that's our Akhni and savory yogurt. Hope everybody enjoyed that.
And Aaron, do we have any more questions?
Last question, I think. Okay. Roscoe Jones asked, any more ways to get kids to eat vegetables? Or is this what comes in future weeks?
Well, isn't this a great way to introduce veggies?
It's fabulous. My kid would eat this.
Yes, I think it's a good way.
It's sweet. I mean, it's not overly sweet, but because there's obviously savory in here, but with the carrots and the peas and, the onion, it's I think sweet enough for a kid to really enjoy it.
That's what I think. I don't think it has any flavors that are difficult for a child to acknowledge. And in fact, there was a doctor that I did a bit of research with, and he said children should be introduced to the subtle flavors from a young age. Things like cinnamon, clove, cardamom, cumin. They have such amazing phytonutrients. So nothing wrong in introducing them to children. If you think about, I think, the forages of people like the Khoisan we have, or probably the native people of various continents, they foraged. And those herbs they foraged are actually quite pungent. They're quite hot. Yet their children ate those from a very young age. So I think once you introduce a child to those flavors, they'll grow with them. You can't expect them to eat anything like a hot chili or perhaps even garlic or ginger. That you introduce a little later. But with cardamom and cumin, they're not hot at all. Fennel is also quite sweet naturally, so it's very nice.
I was just trying to taste for the heat in here. I can taste a little bit. And it was a medium hot pepper. So I think even with adding some of that spice, I think it's pretty tolerable. I mean, obviously, if you're really, if someone's super heat sensitive, you'd want to back off. But I added quite a bit, and it just blends with the flavor. It doesn't stand out.
Exactly. Yep, Shannon, thank you so much. It was wonderful cooking with you.
It was great cooking together. I can't wait to do it again. And I think more people should cook with us and not just watch, because you're missing out on actually the smells, and my whole house smells great now. And it's really delicious. So I'm going to encourage everyone to try this.
Yeah. And you've got something to eat at the end of it all.
I'm excited. As soon as that camera's off, I'm going to be munching this whole thing. So,
okay. Thank you, everybody. Right. Thanks, Alex and the Office Hours team. I really appreciate it. And of course, Hasmukh for coordinating everything for me.
All right.
And Aaron, thanks a lot. Bye.